Hi and hello, Portland metal fans. This is your host, Michael Tomlin, and to my right is my buddy Danny, and underneath there on the screen is Justin Sane of Murdered. And we want to talk to you today about some heavy metal. Danny, did you want to introduce yourself a little bit? Talk to the audience, tell them just a teensy bit about yourself?
Yeah, welcome to the Portland Metal Show. My name is Danny Dumbass. I'm happy to be here to talk about more metal. I guess I'll pass it over to Justin.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'm just insane. This is my second time on the metal show, and I'm excited to just talk about metal with you guys.
Yeah, exclusive Portland metal scene stuff. That's something I mentioned to Justin the last time when we wrapped the show, and I feel like it's worth mentioning is that the reason why I started the show to begin with was simply because I want to inspire people in Portland to buy a ticket to see a show, and that I have been involved in the Portland metal scene since I was very young, and it has given me a lot in my life. It's like a huge source of joy for me. I have met a lot of really awesome people and have a lot of great stories to tell from all those experiences. And so I hope that by talking about those experiences and also talking about the excitement of upcoming shows coming to Portland and sharing stories from Portland artists that are like in this area that are inspired by the scene, it might and hopefully inspire somebody to get involved artistically with heavy metal, whether it be making t-shirts or selling merchandise, whatever it is that they want to do, or making music themselves, or just buying a ticket to go see a show. Not only that, but sorry for going on here, but the more the merrier. One thing that makes going to a concert super rad is having a fuck ton of really cool people to hang with at a concert. And so when you have a lot of friends with you and you go to a concert and it's a party with everybody that you know is there, it's just awesome, you know. So getting people involved is great. So that's what it's all about for me, is just trying to get people involved in the scene more. That's what I want to do, at least. So I'm sure you guys can speak to that a little bit yourselves.
Yeah, it's been a big part of my life for a long time. I've been going to shows since I was I think my first show, I was like 13 years old.
Yeah, I think that's about. I think that was the first. I think I was in sixth grade when I went to my first show, which I told Danny about, was Misfits and Guar, and then right after that was Slipknot.
Oh,
So that was
nice.
crazy.
Awesome.
Okay, so actually, uh, before we get into the news of the day, let us talk about Second Avenue Records, because your T-shirt is cool.
Hey, look at that.
My recollection is that obviously Second Avenue Records was on Second Avenue, and I do have a really cool story about being in that record shop. There was a time when I went in there to just browse the records, and Henry Rollins was in there, just standing there talking to two people. And I felt a little bit awkward because I'm like, holy shit, that's Henry Rollins. And I could tell because first of all, he looked like Henry Rollins, but there's a lot of people that could be confused for him. But I knew it was him because he had the Misfits tattoo on his arm. So I was like, that's definitely him. I did not engage with him, although he engaged with me, because I started talking to the clerk behind the counter about the CD I was looking at, and he like said something about the band. I don't even remember what, but I was like, oh, cool, right on, man. And then he just said like, hey guys, he was talking to a group of people that were like there for autographs or whatever. He was like, listen guys, I got a jet, I got to get out of here. And then he left. But in my head I'm like, fuck, I was standing right next to Henry Rollins. That's crazy. That's so
Incredible.
cool. Yeah, it was awesome.
Feeling like starstruck, like you didn't know what to say.
I felt like he already was talking to a group of people, and if I just sort of interjected, it would be a little awkward. I would have to force myself in. It looked like I would have had to force myself into it. So I just was like, it's just cool that he's right there. I'm okay with this.
Right,
So,
yeah.
You got a story from it.
Say again, Danny?
You got a cool story out of it, so that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was right. Like I said, he was like right there, dude. I could have shook his hand. I wish I did, but he was. I only saw him for like a couple minutes, and then he left. So that was pretty neat. But where is it at now? It's not on Second Avenue anymore. So they must have,
It
if they
still is.
relocate. Oh,
It's still
okay.
on Second Avenue. They found a location that's on the same fucking street, apparently.
I was just gonna say they must have had to change the name of the record store if they moved. Okay, well then it's still in business as Second Avenue Records. How convenient.
They
I
have to
haven't
change
been in that
their name.
location, but I used to love walking in there and just seeing all the T-shirts hung around the place. That was always
Yes.
my favorite part.
It was a
Was
great
just
source of finding new music by looking at the shirts for me at a
yeah.
young age.
That was always the cool thing about them. And then if you want to look at CDs, they just start pulling out these boxes.
Yeah.
Those CDs a lot.
Well,
Box, please bring more.
on more than one occasion, I have bought bad CDs there, but also good CDs because, I take the advice of people I listen to, and the guy behind the counter knew his black metal and he knew I liked Immortal. So he's like, hey, check this out, man. Demones, he's got his own solo album. And I was like, oh, okay. Uh, I bought it on a whim. I took his advice. He said it sounded good. And to his credit, it's a good album. I don't know if you've heard his solo work, but it's very Immortal esque. But I believe it has Icedale of Enslaved playing guitars, and it sounds like Immortal Light, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
it's good. It's good. So
What's the
um,
band?
it's his solo album. It's just Demones.
Oh, Demones. Okay.
Yeah. The he's currently the lead singer of Immortal now. Bath isn't in the band anymore, but
Oh,
he
right. I forgot
also
Abath started his own band called Abath, right?
right,
Right.
and
Right.
as I understand, there was if I my memory's foggy on it, but there was some issue that caused the breakup. Um, and I might some of this stuff I'm probably screwing up the story a little bit, but I believe that Demones and Abath are actually blood brothers, and Abath is a party animal and he likes to drink. And
Yeah.
I think that his drinking might have been a problem on tour on more than one occasion. And I think that for Immortal, that might have been an issue for them on tour. So I believe I want to say that there was something related to his drinking. That issue could not be settled. And so it caused Abath to just start his own work on the side. So now he can party and do whatever he wants. It's his band, his responsibility. He doesn't have to worry about Immortal anymore. And Immortal is doing their own thing. Now, Demones has always been the main songwriter of the band anyway, as I believe. I think I'm correct about this. And he was also the original lead singer anyway. So they just kind of still do the same stuff, but it does sound slightly different.
Mhm. Right
Um,
on.
again, a lot of that might be. I might be totally wrong. This is all really old stuff in my head. I could be off on
What is
this.
this? What is the singer of Motorhead? I'm drawing a blank right now.
Oh, Lemmy.
Lemmy. Isn't he considered like the black metal version of Lemmy?
Well, dude, a bath? Are you talking about a bath?
Yeah, because he's just
He
like a crazy party guy,
he
and
really is, and it's great that you
yeah,
mentioned that because he also has his own side band called Bastards. It might be Bastards or Bombers. I can't remember which, but he just does Motorhead covers, and he sounds
Oh, that's cool.
exactly like Lemmy, dude.
it's funny that you say that because I went. I don't know if you guys have heard of this band called Necrofilth,
No, I
um,
don't know that band.
but I had the tour poster on my wall, but they played a show in Portland, and after the show, they were planning on doing Motorhead covers, and Abath was supposed to do vocals,
Oh my
but for
god.
whatever yeah, but for whatever reason he like bailed out last minute. So what they did was they would just pull like random people on the stage and have them do vocals for these Motorhead covers.
Dude, that would
Oh,
have
that's
been
really cool.
so legend, man.
What an
Yeah,
experience that is.
I'll show you the poster real quick.
Holy shit, that would have been so rad if see, but the fact that he even mentioned a bath was supposed to but didn't already kind of tells me he was probably drunk.
Oh, that's a sick poster.
Yeah,
Dude,
dude, isn't it
nice.
bad? It's got the Motorhead zombie artwork on it. Yeah, it's really cool.
Dang.
That is
It was a
How long
awesome.
ago was that?
was that?
How long ago was that?
Oh, this was June 15th. I think this would have been 2023.
Damn, that
Okay, so
wasn't
not
even
too
that long
long.
ago.
That's
Yeah.
cool. I wish I
And
could
it
have
was
gone to that. That's awesome.
yeah, it was their first show that they played in 4 years, and it was at the Blackwater Bar.
Oh,
Oh,
nice,
okay.
dude.
Yeah,
But
it was a good.
I have a feeling that a bath might have been too drunk to perform. That could have been. I mean,
Probably.
I don't know. I feel like a jerk if I'm just saying that, and he's not a true alcoholic, and he's like, I'm totally besmirching his name and his credit. But I've heard that he kind of has a reputation for that. So, or I've
Yeah,
I've
that
read
could very
online.
well be true. I wouldn't
Um,
doubt
okay,
Yeah.
so okay, so I wanted to talk about a story that's been in the news, and it's been kind of making waves. Did you guys read anything about this band called End It? This band called End It is on tour with Hatebreed, and they called out a dude in the audience wearing a banana costume. Did you hear about this?
I
I
did
did
read that
hear about it.
article.
And
I did
so
hear about it.
yeah, so basically what I understand is, and I've seen dudes in costumes like a banana costume. Like I've seen a dude in a cow costume. I've seen just weird stuff like that, random stuff. Um, remember there was a guy dressed as at an Ailstorm costume. There was a guy dressed in full Jack Sparrow. I don't.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He looked
I was
like
there that night for that.
yeah, he looked exactly like
I've
Jack
thought about
Sparrow,
doing that myself.
dressing up as a pirate for
I think we
Ailstorm.
should do that.
No, no. I wanna go to a concert with my Leatherface costume.
Oh, dude, there you go.
I think that would be really fun.
It would be really sweaty. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, yeah, probably. And the mask.
Yeah. Well, so the band calls out this guy in the banana costume, and for some reason or another, they're not happy with him. And the band says something along the lines of like, he wanted attention, now he's got it. So the audience, you gotta, I guess bust him up, mess him up, get rid of that costume. And so the audience, like a horde of zombies, they all just start grabbing on him, pulling on him, ripping his banana costume off. The dude kind of gets a little bruised and banged up, nothing too extreme. It just looked like he kind of got shook up a bit. But the real controversy is the video goes viral on the internet, and then like a couple days later, the guy who was in the banana costume releases this picture, kind of giving a little bit of his backstory, and he's saying something along the lines of like, my experience of this is like it's either conform or else or something along those lines, right? And so he's saying that like this scene isn't about conforming and like trying to fit in with everybody else, look the same as everybody else. And he's like, all my life people have been trying to put me down, and this is just another one of those days, something along those lines. I can't remember word for word what he said, but that was the basic, the gist of it. And so I wanted to ask you guys: have you ever seen anything like that at a concert where the band on stage interacts with an audience member in a bad way or a weird way?
Uh, I can't say I've seen that, but I think that's a poor call on the band's fault because he's kind of making a big deal out of something that's pretty mundane. Like you do see stuff like that every once in a while, whether it's someone wearing corpse paint or just a silly costume, and he's like taking something that's not really a big deal and he's turning the audience on them. So I think that's, in my opinion, I think that's a dick move.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. As somebody performing on stage, you should never single somebody out that's in the crowd for
Yeah.
just trying to be themselves and express themselves, and to target them is just really wrong.
Dude, not only that, but like once that crowd, like you are unleashing like there's no, how do I put this? Like you're telling an audience of metalheads who are already wound up on adrenaline and booze and metal to start beating up a dude in the audience. Like you are seriously rolling the dice on potentially killing somebody. Like this guy could get annihilated. You know, it's kind of a
Oh, for sure.
miracle he only got a couple bumps and bruises and nothing worse, in my
Yeah.
opinion, because it could have gotten a lot worse. So they're very
And
lucky, in my opinion.
metal shows are about having fun, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess I could see how someone would misconstrue that as wanting attention or whatever, but um, it's all, like I said, it's all about having fun, and sometimes people wear silly costumes, and that's just part of the fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're there to see. They're there to see you and see you
Right?
perform. Why would you call them out?
Yeah,
dude,
yeah,
that's a good. You know, that's another thing too. You pay money to see this band, right? You're a paying customer. For all this band knows, this guy is a huge fan of their music, and now he's their mortal enemy. He's like, "Fuck that band." I bet you that guy hates that band now. You know,
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
and I know that because of the controversy of the story, there's probably a lot of people who are now not down with that band anymore because of it. A lot of banana wearing costume people out there are upset.
yeah.
um, but I did want to say though that and this sort of tied in a little bit. I saw Grim Reaper once, and two things happened at that show. For one, there was a fight that broke out in the audience. A security guard started. Oh, hold up. Hold up. Oh, wait, we're still in line. Okay, great. I just got. Sorry, guys. We're still good. We're still good. Um, my screen glitched for a second. Sorry about that. Okay, so the security guard got into it with somebody in the audience. They start fighting each other, and I was about 4 feet away from this fight, and I could see it was starting to get rough. So I start at the time I was with my wife and my ex-wife, I beg your pardon. And so at the time, because we were so close to this fight that was about to bust out, I was like, we better get away from these guys because anything could happen, right? So I start kind of going off to the side. Minutes later, the whole room is filled with pepper spray. The security guard had sprayed the dude in the face with pepper spray, and then the security guard, because he wasn't supposed to do that, was immediately fired. He knew he had done something that was going to get him fired, so he just
Jeez,
left. He just
that's
left.
pretty.
And at this point now, everybody in the audience is coughing, wheezing, hacking, can't breathe. Even me,
Oh
I
my
might
god.
have been, because I scooted away, I might have been like 8 feet away from it at this point. And every breath I took, it was like, like, dude, it burns, man. I've never been around pepper spray before until that moment. And so I was like, holy shit, I couldn't imagine what it would be like to get that directly in the face. But, because of that instance, the band had to take a 40-minute break. Just to everybody in the audience had to stop to drink water. The band gets off stage and takes a 40-minute break. Now, Steve Gromit is a legendary vocalist. His vocals are amazing in his prime. This point of his career, he is very old. His vocals are nowhere near as good as they used to be, but still, to see him in the flesh and sing was quite an experience. And for a viewer as myself, an audience member as myself, I was so pissed that this asshole pepper sprayed the audience, because now he comes back on stage and he can't sing anywhere near as good as he was, which he's already limited at this point because of his age, and it's just worse for the rest of the show, dude. It was so lame.
And that's so stupid too, because you spray pepper spray and you're not even thinking like, oh, there's like dozens of other people. Maybe it's gonna get them too. Like, how can you not think about that?
Oh,
That's so stupid.
and the security guard probably is, because he's a security guard. He's probably not even a metalhead. He doesn't give a shit about anything going on there that night.
Right.
But there was a woman, a lady, a young lady who for one reason or another, she ended up getting on the stage, and she attempted to sing along with the band on the microphone. And Steve pushed her off the stage back into the crowd, and then he started shaming her. Hold up. The screen just went blank again. I hope it worked. It's fine. It looks like it's still going. Sorry, guys. And so he started shaming her, saying, like, this is my stage. You're not welcome to get on the stage and sing on my microphone. This is my stage. And so she's like, okay, okay. And in my head, I'm like, okay, oh, hey, all right. He's taking control of his stage, I guess.
This is my band.
Yeah. But I just thought it was an interesting, like, 2 seconds there where I was like, oh, damn, all right. That lady's not getting back on the stage again. But, yeah, I guess the band ended because of the controversy. They were, I don't know if they, of their own free will, left the tour or were kicked off of the tour, but they're no longer on tour with Hatebreed at this point. So the tour goes on, but they're not there anymore.
And the band is called End This, right?
It's called End It.
Oh, End It. Are they like they're like a hardcore band, aren't they?
Yeah. And I don't know anything about their. I haven't listened to them before.
So they literally ended it.
Yeah, they ended it. Yeah, pretty much. Well, damn, they made their point.
Did you have something you wanted to say, Danny?
Oh no, I was just laughing. I don't think I've ever seen anybody dressed in too crazy of a costume at shows. But my buddy of mine dressed as Mario because we were going to go see Power Glove, and that was pretty cool.
I saw Power Glove with you guys. I got their album autographed. Actually, their Saturday Morning Apocalypse, I think it's called.
Okay.
Got the whole band this autograph. That was pretty cool.
There's this one guy I used to see at shows, and he would always, like, he had a mullet, and he would always wear like corpse paint.
That's cool.
A lot of shows.
I actually, it's funny you mentioned that because, like, one of my, I want to say on this channel several years ago, I think I mentioned seeing that guy in one of my videos.
Yeah.
So I actually was like, I see this guy at different concerts wearing corpse paint, and it's always different corpse paint. So
yeah. And he's got the mullet, and he's got the curly hair, and
yeah.
But other than that, I can't think of any crazy costumes off the top of my head that I've seen. I guess I'm just so used to metal shows and people just dressing crazy that I don't really think much of it.
Well, do you guys know the guy? He's got one arm, and he told me his name is Stubbs, and he's like every show I go to as of late.
Dude, he was at the Guar concert, Justin. Did you see him? He was crowd surfing every 5 seconds.
Dude, that guy's fucking rad. Like, I give it up to that guy. He's always in the pit. He's always crowd surfing and just enjoying himself, man.
He's a slightly larger guy for crowd surfing, but he made it work. So, you know, in my head, I'm like, he's big. He's slightly bigger, but it works. Yeah, I did see him. If he's this, I mean, I don't know how many people are going to concerts that I could point out who only have one arm, but there was one guy that I saw at the Guar show in the crowd surfing left and right. So that must have been him.
Who you're talking about. I see him at shows all the time.
Yeah, I think he works. He might work at the Hawthorne Theater. I'm not sure. I feel like he does, but he's a super nice guy.
Have you guys seen, like, the band ever, like, get anybody off, like, from the audience onto the stage and perform with the band or sing along or do anything like that?
Yeah. I remember I saw Corpic Lonnie one time. They were, I think they were doing a song Tequila, and they had an open invitation to all the ladies come on the stage and just kind of dance around, and that was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah, dude! That sounds awesome. Yeah, I wish I was at that show.
The coolest thing I saw recently was in the audience there was this chick in a wheelchair, and then at one point the whole crowd had lifted her up, and she was crowd surfing with her wheelchair.
That's cool.
So cool. I've seen that before.
Yeah,
I love that.
I wish I remember what show that was. I've been to so many shows that they all blur together, but yeah, that was a
Yeah.
pretty cool moment.
I know exactly what you're speaking to. That's sort of one of the fun parts of like doing a show like this is it really helps me like narrow down some key points of times I've been at shows and cool interesting things that have happened and then being like, "Oh man, I forgot that I was there when this thing happened." And it just kind of makes you remember some cool stuff that you can only ever really see at a concert like at a metal show, you know? And um I don't know. I have you guys ever had anything like super Danny, I know you've had really unlucky times at concerts. Children of Bodom, I know you broke your leg. That sucked. But I was at a concert once where a buddy of mine and Justin, let me ask you this. Sorry. Your glasses, how visually impaired are you without those glasses?
I'm nearsighted, so anything far away is like super blurry. So like if I'm at a concert, I won't be able to see like everyone on the stage will be really blurry. I won't really be able to see anyone's face.
I
So
was I was at a
yeah,
concert with a friend of mine who was nearsighted, just like you, and
yeah.
we were standing next to each other. And because it was such a heavily populated concert, I watched out of the peripheral of my vision a hand come forward, grab his glasses, pluck them off of his head, and they were gone. And for the
Oh no
rest of
shit.
the show, my buddy was totally blind and he could not see a damn thing, dude. And he was complaining the whole time. He's like, I can't see anything. This
That's
sucks.
stupid.
This guy
You
totally.
should you should
It,
lose your glasses while moshing, not someone just taking them away.
but I couldn't help but laugh, man. It was hilarious. I was like, I know this sucks for you, but this is hilarious for me, man. This is great.
I
Talk
don't,
about
as
bad
somebody that
luck.
doesn't like need glasses or anything, I feel like if I did need that, I would wear contacts to shows.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I've never had a problem with my glasses because I don't really mosh, so I'm not
Okay,
too
I'd be
about it.
so afraid to lose them.
Yeah,
Now,
or getting them
do
broken.
you not mosh because of your glasses?
What's that?
Do you not mosh because of your glasses, or like
Oh no,
what's this?
I'm not much of a mosher.
Okay.
I like to just watch the show.
Oh, I love moshing. It's the reason I'm there, and it's the reason I fucking get hurt.
Yeah,
One thing I will say about moshing etiquette is like for me at least, I'm like an of average size, right? So it's good to know Danny, who's a bigger guy, and he's kind of like a bodyguard almost because he's in the mosh pit with you. Danny is in control. He can move around no problem. So if you're next to him in a mosh pit, it's going to be fine. You're not going to get totally ragdolled around too bad. But then Danny will just grab you and swing you around in a circle and then launch you into a bunch of people like a bowling ball, which is hilarious and fun. Yeah, Danny's a great friend to have in a mosh pit.
As the bigger guy, though, I feel I am targeted by certain people that want to like challenge me and just try to push me down. And I think that's what happened at the last show that I went to. I was down on the ground multiple times, and I think somebody had just targeted me for being the big guy in the mosh pit.
Dude, I've heard of that kind of stuff happening, man. Shit. What was the band that you
Yeah,
went to see when that happened?
that was oh shit. Dark Tranquility, and I didn't even make it to see Dark Tranquility because I hurt my leg, and I forget what the opening band was. But I don't know. I just feel like I was targeted, and I drank too much too. So it's on me, man. If I didn't drink so much, I would have been just fine. But
I can think of a time where I felt like I was targeted in the mosh pit.
oh yeah, what happened?
So there was this one time I saw I went to see Despised Icon at the Satir Con, and I was with
Oh,
my then
you just
girlfriend.
aged yourself a little bit.
Sorry, what?
You just aged yourself a little bit there, saying the Satyricon.
Oh, Satir Con. I know, right? Yeah. So
Sorry.
I went with my girlfriend to see Despised Icon at the Satir Con, and while Despised Icon was playing, there was a circle pit going, and this guy, I was in the circle pit, and this guy like knees me in the crotch, like really
Oh,
fucking
Oh,
hard,
dude,
to the point where I'm like, I'm literally like crying because it hurts so bad,
don't
and
blame you there.
like I even put my hand down my pants to check, because I literally thought I was gonna like see blood, like
oh
that's how
man.
bad it hurt. I got kneed in the crotch really, really fucking hard, and I thought something down there like broke. I thought something down there was
Wow.
really, yeah. So I thought it was really bad, but luckily it wasn't. Um, the only thing that happened was a little bit of bruising. That's all I'm gonna say. But
Oh,
other than that,
damn.
I was so yeah. What I remember just getting kneed in the crotch really hard, crying in front of my girlfriend, putting my hand down my pants, thinking I'm gonna see blood. And yeah, that was, and I felt like he like did on purpose. Like I'm moshing around the circle pit, and then I just see this knee like come up towards me, and it's like he did it on purpose. It was weird, but I felt like I was being targeted.
Yeah.
Maybe just some asshole. I don't know. It
Uh,
was crazy. Yeah.
I've been targeted at a concert before, but it was kind of a weird thing. It was this situation with some people that got upset with me about some stuff, drama and stuff. And so they wanted to beat me up, and I was at the concert, and at the time I had long hair, and because the crowd was so dense, somebody, and I'm positive I had people had warned me in advance that people were looking for me to beat me up, and I was like, hey, it's not going to stop me from having fun. I'm whatever happens happens. But so I'm in the crowd, and somebody grabbed my hair and they wouldn't let go, and couldn't, because the crowd was so dense, I couldn't do anything to like get it off. And then we both fell to the ground, but then everybody fell on top of us. So now it's like a huge dog pile, and this guy never let go of my hair, and he's pulling it to the point where I thought it was going to rip out of my head because it
Oh,
was
gee.
really bad. It was really bad, and I couldn't do much at all to get him to let go. And at a certain point, I remember taking my fingernails, which I already keep excessively low as it is, but what little fingernails I had, I was trying to like scrape the skin of his hand, do some sort of damage to get him to let go. I could not figure out what to do. And then eventually he let go. But when I got back up, I thought I saw somebody laughing and assumed, and because I'm seeing red, right? I'm pissed. Um, it was this impulsive moment of rage and anger where I saw somebody laughing. I assumed it was my attacker. So I grabbed him by the collar. I'm like, oh, fucking kill you. Like I was going to beat the shit out of him. But then he was like, whoa, 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 and I could tell like within just like the 2 seconds that, oh, fuck, I grabbed the wrong guy. And I'm like,
Oh
I'm
man.
sorry. And then I just left the crowd because I'm like, oh my God, I almost punched this random stranger for no reason. Um, well, no reason from that guy. He didn't do anything. But yeah, at that point, I just hung out at the back of at the back of the crowd and just watched the show from there. And I was like, I think I'm gonna hang out in the back because I don't want to go back
Chill
in
out
and
the
get
rest
beat
of
up
the night.
again. Yeah. So that was kind of a lame thing. But that's another thing too. You talked about getting kneed in the groin, and that's one reason why I don't like going to hardcore shows, dude. The fight dancing is not my thing. You will get punched and
Panic either.
kicked. Yeah, dude. That I have been kicked in the leg and punched in the side, and it's not the kind of moshing I like. It's not my thing. But all the power to those people who like it. It's if that's what they like to do. more for them, you know.
Remember going to this one show? I don't remember what concert it was, but it was like a mix of like core bands and like death metal bands. And so whenever someone would try to do the karate dancing thing, there would be another guy just like pushing him, like, stop that shit, you know?
Oh
Like
yeah,
I thought that was pretty funny. They're just
I
trying to do their hardcore dance and they just keep getting pushed.
the
Like,
moshers
we don't
don't like
fucking do
them.
that here. Cut it out.
They don't like each other,
It
dude. They don't
Yeah.
like each other at
reminds me
all.
of the shirt that I used to have. It was a band shirt from the band Havoc, and on the back it said "No karate in the pit," and it has like a guy doing karate moves with a big like slash through it.
Yes, dude, that's a killer shirt. Hell yeah.
And I feel
Yeah.
like I'm in the middle because I love core music and I love death metal. So I feel like I'm just like the weird guy who likes both. I'm just like, come on, can everyone just get along?
I
It's
do
all metal.
I do love Hatebreed. You know, Hatebreed kicks ass, man. I mean, there's some
Yeah,
bands out there that are really good. Hatebreed kicks a lot of ass. So I'm
they
okay
really.
with it in
Pretty
small
sure, but I
doses.
heard something.
What'd you say, Danny?
I said I've never been to a hate breed show, but I've heard some kind of terrible stories about people going to those shows and getting severely injured. So,
Oh
like,
man,
I don't know,
I've
not
seen
my
them
scene.
twice. I've seen them twice, and they're
Oh,
awesome.
speaking of
Yeah.
Hatebreed, do you guys know that Hatebreed is headlining Summer Slaughter tour this year?
I did just recently see a flyer for Summer of Slaughter, and I want to
Yeah.
say I saw the Hatebreed logo, but the only other problem that I only briefly looked at it, I didn't really recognize any of the other bands is the problem. So I was
Um,
like, oh, it seems like not. There's been better lineups from other Summer of Slaughters. So
is
I
that
don't.
hitting Portland? I haven't seen a Summer Slaughter tour in a long time.
Yeah, it's I think they're kind of trying to bring it back,
Oh, cool. Okay.
but this new one kind of has a mix between like hardcore and death metal bands. Um, so like Incantation, they're death metal. Gates to Hell, I think they're death metal. Creeping Death,
They're going to be
Terror.
on the tour.
Yeah.
Well, damn, I would have recognized those. Maybe I saw an older flyer, but
So
yeah,
it's a Summer Slaughter Tour 2026 Part 2.
okay,
Hatebreed, Terror, Incantation, Gates to Hell, Torture, and Creeping Death.
okay.
All right. When
So
is that hitting Portland? Do we have a date?
it's not coming to Portland, unfortunately,
Okay.
um, but it is going to. The closest it's coming is Spokane, Washington, and Boise, Idaho. So
Okay.
I actually thought about doing a road trip just to go. I think it'd be a cool show to go to.
Boise, Idaho,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
Road trip to Idaho.
Yeah. It's only a 6 hour drive. It's not too bad.
I just feel like Idaho is one of those states in America that I forget exists. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a state. I forgot about that one. You know, it just does nothing happens there seemingly.
People say the same thing about Oregon, you know?
No way, dude. I feel like Oregon is totally
Yeah.
loved.
Well,
Oregon is
people
a,
Oh,
used to not care about Oregon, but now it's. I feel like everyone knows about Oregon and Portland, especially Portland.
right,
A lot of
right.
people are moving here because they're like, "Oh, Portland's so cool. It's got art and music and beer and good weed. You know, all that stuff."
It definitely has all
yeah.
that stuff. So they're not wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think that of late, Portland is more recognizable to the rest of the country because of like Portlandia and stuff like that. And
Right.
it has definitely got its name on the map for sure. But
Mhm.
the contest is still, the jury's still out. Is Seattle the best Pacific Northwest city or is Portland? And Portland all the way for me. But I'm not going to hold that against anybody who likes Seattle more.
And Mike, do you remember like when we were kids, like the Portland metal scene? I feel like there weren't that many like great like local metal bands, but like nowadays there's tons of Portland metal bands that are just killing it right now. And
I
so
totally agree.
it's really cool how much the Portland local metal scene has grown.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
totally agree. I know it's kind of there's a black metal band. It's kind of, I consider them to be Portland local because they're from Battleground, Washington. It's kind of controversial. I mean, like technically they're from Washington, right? But it's so close to Portland that that's kind of Portland is their stomping ground for
Oh,
venues.
ceremonial casting.
Well, ceremonial castings in Ueda, you know,
What's the other one?
I think it's pronounced Ueda,
Okay.
Uada, and
Oh yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah.
the same lead singer of ceremonial castings is the singer of Ueda, and I could be pronouncing
Yeah.
it wrong, but um, yeah, I think they're Portland just because they're so close to Battleground, Washington. That's like Portland is their main hub of getting their venues out. I think they travel to Portland more than to Seattle. So, but yeah, you've got them. You've got Unto Others. You've got Red Fang. Just
Right.
to name a couple off the top of my head, Toxic Holocaust. I want to say, aren't they from
Oh
Portland
yeah,
as well?
yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's huge, man.
There's also
Portland.
Vitriol.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then there was this one band, dude. What was the name of that band I told you about? Danny has that saxophone solo in the song.
Oh, Vintersea, something like
Fintersea.
that.
Yeah, they're
Oh
cool. They're not
Yeah.
very. Do you know about
yeah,
them, Justin?
I know. I've heard of them. Yeah, I have a buddy who used to play bass for them for a really short period of time.
Oh, dude, I would love to talk to that guy, man. I've really been
So
getting down with their music.
he's Duncan. He's the one who did your intro song.
Oh, nice. Duncan
Yeah,
McHugh. Oh,
yeah,
killer, dude. That's rad.
yeah. We
Awesome.
Duncan's the man.
Nice. Oh, okay. So I've already talked to him briefly when he did my music.
Duncan went
Nice.
to high school with. He went to Rex Putnam.
I did not know that. Well,
Yeah,
damn. All
yeah,
right. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to get back in touch with him.
yeah.
Um, well, Danny, did you want to mention some? You said you wanted to talk a little bit about some albums and some tours that you're interested in
Yeah, yeah.
seeing.
I want to throw this out there just to conversate about Portland local bands. There was a band they were called Across the Sun. They were
Yeah,
Portland, like Moana. You know them,
I've heard of
Justin?
them. Yeah.
I love that band so much. I'm so sad that they're not still performing, and I don't know where the band members went and what their careers ended up like. But that band was one of my favorites, and just had to see them disappear. Uh, the stuff I have written down. There's a new Devil Driver album coming out, and I don't know if either of you have seen the two music videos they've put out as of late, but I think their new album's going to be killer, and I hope they tour and I hope they come to Portland. They're one of my favorite bands I've seen live in Portland. It was just insane. Um, I don't
Yeah,
know if
I'll
you
have to
guys
check
have
it
seen
out.
their new stuff. What's that?
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I think they're going to put out a killer album, better than like their last two or three albums that they've put out.
I
I'm excited to
consider
see that, and like I said, I'm hoping for a tour.
I
I always
consider
liked
my
seeing them live. I saw them live a few times back in the day, and I always thought they were sick.
You didn't happen to see him at a venue called Burbardi's Pan, did you?
Our bodies pan. I don't think I went to that one. I remember seeing them at the Roseland, maybe the Hawthorne, but I don't remember.
That was the
How
most
they
insane
saw
show I've ever been to. It was a venue called Burbardi's Pan, and it's right by. It used to be right by the donut place, Voodoo Donuts,
I
and
do.
it was a split crowd, like 21 and over, and then all ages, and there was like a barrier between the two crowds, and we broke through that barrier to the point where it was destroyed, and they were threatening to close down or shut down the whole show. And I don't know, I was bleeding from an eyebrow. There was some guy bleeding profusely because he hit his head on some sort of metal post. There was beer all over the ground. People were slipping and sliding. That place was just insane. I wish I could have seen more shows there, but I've been itching to see a Devil Driver concert ever since then. I don't know if I would want to be in the pit again. I think I'm getting to the point where I don't think I can afford to do that again. But I would love to see Devil Driver live again, and their last two songs they put out have been incredible. So I'm looking forward to that.
I was gonna say I consider myself lucky because I have seen Cold Chamber in concert just
Oh yeah.
before they broke up, like just before they broke up, and they were
Oh,
opening for another band. So they ran through Portland, and I saw them open, and then I was like, "Oh, Cold Chamber," and then it was not very long after where Devil Driver came to be, and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool." The lead singer started his own thing, so I
yeah.
think all of personally, I think that Sharon Osbourne had a lot to do with. I mean, I don't know enough about Devil Driver to really speak as an authority on this or anything, but because of the ties with Cold Chamber, Sharon Osbourne has, I think, really helped put wind in the sails for that band, promoting
Okay.
them, making them successful. I really think she believes a lot in the lead singer. So that definitely is a good endorsement, coming from the Oz
Oh,
family.
for sure. The other thing I have written down is a show was recently announced for Necro Goblicon. I don't know if either of you
Oh
guys are
yeah,
a fan
dude.
of that
I
band.
never seen them.
Yeah,
I want to see them.
they're playing
Okay,
with
well,
Sculpted, Signs of the Swarm, and Party Cannon.
yeah. On I think on November 11th, forget
Oh,
what venue, the Crystal Ballroom. So I'm
oh
stoked for
my
that,
God, the Crystal Ballroom. Damn.
right?
I think
Last
my
time I
buddy
saw-
Christian and I are going to that because we both really like seeing Aborted live, and
Okay,
so we might go to that.
all right, let's do it, Mike.
Yeah,
We gotta get
yeah.
you in on that too.
We should
Okay, okay,
all
uh,
five of us should go. Absolutely, that'd be sick.
okay.
Yeah.
I will. Let me just make a note right now because there was some other. I want when we talk about who's coming and who we're gonna see. Necrogoblicon,
I'm
November
surprised
11th.
they're doing the Crystal Ballroom. That's a big venue for that band. I guess they're
Um,
celebrating 20 years of being a band, which is just insane to me.
I feel
It
like Necrogoblicon has gotten bigger over the years, especially with their new singer Dickie Allen, because
Yeah.
he's an Infant Annihilator, and I know Infant Annihilator's pretty huge within like the deathcore community. So
Okay.
I feel like they're getting bigger over time. And I've seen Necrogoblicon on like a fuck ton of interviews on different YouTube channels. He was recently on the Harlan Williams podcast.
yeah, the Harlan Highway.
He's been on so many different podcasts, and like I've been seeing him everywhere. So I feel like
Um,
they're really getting their name out there a lot.
I saw the Goblin character was in the new. I don't like this band, Electric Callboy. Their new music video. He was in their video, and that was kind of interesting. I'm like, this guy really is everywhere. With
Yeah.
like, and who else was
Right.
I forget who the comedian that was in that video too. Howie Mandel was in that video, and I know that the Goblin has like had him on his show as well on YouTube. It's weird how so many things are crossing over.
All these crossovers, all these collabs going on. I think it's really cool, honestly.
Yeah, no, I really dig it too.
Yeah. Even if I'm not a fan of the music, I just like to see experimentation and collaborations and crossovers and all this crazy shit. Like Baby Metal is doing a collaboration with Slaughter to Prevail. That's pretty
Okay,
cool and
yeah,
and random, but also crazy and cool at the same time, you know?
You
So
know, okay. So on that note, I did kind of want to get into it just sort of came into my mind, but you're talking about Baby Metal, Necrogoblicon, the crossover between like comedians, theatrics, podcasts, and so on, YouTube channels and whatnot. Um, to me, I feel like heavy metal has taken. They have gone way more theatric, with bands like Ghost. There's that other really popular band that's a lot of people. I can't remember what are they called. Oh my god, dude, I can't remember. It's this huge. I'm not a big fan of them, but the guy like has like a sword and they have hoods on. They have this. Oh god, I'm terrible.
Sleep took.
Sleep Token. Thank you,
Yeah,
dude. Thank you for
Wow.
saying that because I felt like such an idiot. I'm like, everybody's talking about this band. I tried to
yeah,
listen to them, and it just isn't for me. But I'm like, they're very theatric, you know, and they got the costumes and all this stuff. And it just seems to me that heavy metal is going into this direction of like putting on these large productions, you know, huge theatrics on stage. It's like going to see a play in certain ways. And I've even seen this in Viking metal shows. Amon Amarth, I was watching a YouTube video of like the lead singer. They had the serpents from oh god, what is it called? The Twilight of the Thunder God. He has like these serpents on the stage, and he's like hammering away at him with hammers, Thor's hammer. And he has like this huge inflatable raft where he's like on the audience, and he's like doing a Viking thing there. And I don't know, I just feel like it's getting more theatric and becoming more of a stage show, which is cool. And it's not just about getting on stage playing guitars and rocking out. There's still plenty of that to go around, but um, it just does seem like a lot of the bands that are getting more popular are have a lot to do with stage performances, which brings me to um, Unto Others, which is a Portland metal band. They're coming to Portland, and I have them. I wrote this down because I want to buy a ticket to this show really bad. They're coming to town. They're co-headlining with Castle Rat, and
right.
Castle Rat
Yeah,
is really killer. I enjoyed what I've heard so far, and their stage act looks really good too. I would love to see that band live because I feel like right now Castle Rat is on the cusp of becoming a huge band. So seeing them right now, they're coming to Portland, Oregon, October 6th at the Roseland Theater with Unto Others. So I would go just for that band alone, but to see Castle Rat perform afterward, this is the time because at this point they could get really big and they're going to get more and more out of touch, like more harder to get, you know, that close and personal with the band. You know, Roseland Theater
dude.
is like right on the edge. So,
Count me in. I'd like to go with you to that. That'd be fun.
so that's going to be at the Roseland Theater October 6th. And the next one is, and we talked about this last time with Danny, Ensymphirum with Firewind. I really want to see that show because I want to introduce my girlfriend to Ensymphirum. They're a great band to see live. And
Oh
Danny,
yeah, they are.
did you say that
I
you
want
were
to go.
definitely going?
Yeah,
Okay,
sign
so
me up for that.
count me in for that. Count me in for Castle Rat, and count me in for Necrogoblicon. I will. We have until November 11th. If I really make it work, I can buy a ticket to these shows and make it happen. So, how about you, Justin? Where are you
I'm
going?
definitely, I'm definitely in for Castle Rent, and I'm definitely in for Necrogoblicon for sure.
Okay, great. That'll be cool. That'll be fun. So we will be at those shows. I did want to mention a couple other cool things. And did you guys? I wanted to mention that don't forget about the Goth Float, August 9th at 10:30
I wanted to
a.m.
remind everybody of that too.
That's going to be at the Barton County Park at 10:30 a.m. That's liftoff for the float. So you want to get to Barton Park a little early, an hour or two early, set up your stuff, and wait for the Goths to show up. You can't miss them. There's a really cool, everybody takes a picture, and then they do liftoff, and it's a party for the rest of the float until the end of the day. And I
Maybe we
just
can
want to
turn that into the death metal float.
dude, I mean, we might need to commandeer it, man. Take it over. Let's make it metal.
Did you mention that it was Sunday, August 9th for the Goth float?
I if I didn't, thank you for saying that. It's Sunday, August 9th. It's a Sunday. I took Monday off of work so I could recover from a long day floating. And another thing I wanted to bring up too, it's not heavy metal, but I feel like it fits in the same camp. There's this thing called the Oddities and Curiosities at the Convention Center, November 7th through
Oh, yeah.
November 8th. Now, personally, I've every time this has come through, I've always wanted to go just to take a look around and see the cool stuff. But I don't know. I mean, with all these things that we want to go see, it's hard. It's going to be difficult for me to get tickets to this. But I did kind of want to put it out there as a sort of metal adjacent event. I mean, this is a lot of artists that are in, oddities and curiosities, man. It fits right in my opinion.
I believe I went to that a few years ago, and it was all right. I think it was around October, so around Halloween time, and there was a lot of like dark art and like what's the when an animal dies
Oh,
and you
taxidermy.
like taxidermy. Yeah, a lot of taxidermy type stuff.
Hmm.
Kind of cool. I mean, I don't know if I'd go again, but it was decent.
I had the same experience. I went with this in 2019. I went with this girl I was dating because she really wanted to go, and it wasn't really my thing. It was more of like a goth, like alternative type of thing, but it was cool to like look around.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, it
I've
probably gets better and better every year, so
I'm
who
more into
knows?
like nerdy stuff like Comic Con, something like that.
Yeah,
dude, there was a time once where it's kind of funny. I did not attend this anime convention. In a certain way I did, but I went to Vancouver and there was an anime convention happening right next to the store that I had went to. And so for fun, I just decided to walk around the convention to see all the costumes and just look at all the fanfare, and it was entertaining. But what was really funny about it is the same day that this anime convention was happening was also some sort of motorcycle convention. So there was all these bikers with like leather vests and everything all hanging out front. But what was hilarious about it is you see all these bikers, they look like they're in biker gangs and stuff, but they're hanging out with like people dressed as Sailor Moon and everything. It was the
Oh,
weirdest combination together, dude. I was just laughing so much. Like there's a giant Pikachu walking through or something like right next to some biker guy. I just think that they were not looking at the scheduling correctly that day. They're like, "Oh man, we're sharing the day with these people. Great. We're trying to
what a
be tough
contrast,
bikers."
man. That's hilarious.
I thought it was great.
Just light
Um,
and bubbly mixed with dark and burly.
yeah, it
I've
was
got an
pretty
idea.
great.
We should all dress up as bananas to go to the Necrogoblicon concert.
Dude, and then we'll all get beat up, I guess. Maybe or maybe there'll be
Giant ass banana.
maybe a lot of people will dress up in bananas and then it will be like the revenge of the banana.
Yeah.
There'll be people up that aren't dressed as bananas.
The banana strikes back.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be rad, man. Okay, so but before we go, let's chat just for a minute about the new Dimmy Borgir album, if you don't mind, and then I think we should wrap up just so it doesn't go too long. But did you, Danny? We were talking for a minute about. You say you haven't listened to much of Dimmy Borgir, and we were chatting about a great introductory song for that band would be Progenies of the Great Apocalypse. That comes from their
I'm
Death
gonna
Cult
look it up
Armageddon
after this.
album. That album is special in many ways because the band at the time had the bassist Vortex, who is in another band called Borknagar, which they are another great band that if you haven't heard them, I recommend them as well. But his vocal range is sort of what he was hired for, aside from playing bass. He has this really operatic, angelic style of singing. And so aside from the growl vocals that the lead singer Shagrath sings, they would at times cut into Vortex doing this angelic singing. And this song, Progenies of the Great Apocalypse, perfectly showcases what you will hear from that era of the band when Vortex was in the band. It really was special. A lot of the stuff they did with that guy. So that is a
Okay.
great introductory song to get to know the band a little bit. And then with that, I would also recommend a song called Gateways because they have a song. I can't remember the name of the woman, but she's in a band called Dirge, and they're pretty
Dude,
cool. They got a song called Headstone, I think it's called. It's a really catchy. It's a really catchy song. It's really good. And that
her
Gateway
vocals on
song.
Gateway is so sick.
Oh, dude, did you see that? What is it?
The
That
music
concert.
video.
Yeah, because they did this concert with the orchestration and the choir, and
Oh
that was
right, yeah.
so
I did
epic,
see a
dude.
clip from that. Yeah,
That
but
was
yeah, her
incredible.
singing fits their music so well. So her guest spot on that song was so cool. I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, wow, there's a female vocalist on a Dimmu Borgir song. This is really cool.
It really makes me wish they did more with her, dude. You know,
Yeah,
she would be
that's what a lot
perfect.
of people were saying. Yeah.
Oh
Huh.
man,
I'll have to check that song out as well then.
Danny, you had once told me you shared a YouTube video with me from a band that did orchestrations on stage. What band was that again?
Septic Flesh.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
I love that stuff. And I've always been a big fan of orchestra with music, with any kind of metal. Like I remember as a kid, I liked watching the S&M Metallica performance, and I just thought that was the coolest thing. Like, oh, that's great, and I'm glad more and more bands seem to be doing that and incorporating that into their music.
Or what about, have you guys heard of Flesh God Apocalypse?
Yeah, yeah, I have.
They're
Just a
really
little bit. I haven't listened to them too much.
cool.
Is that worthwhile listen?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
Uh, I would recommend their album Agony. That one is,
Agony.
yeah, that's a good one. It
Okay.
was a good introduction album, I think.
Would you
Uh,
guys say the new Demon Borgir album is like one of their better albums?
well, I've it's called Grand Serpent Rising. Um, their previous album, I'm just looking it up. It's called like Eonin, I think it's pronounced. Um,
Dude, I really liked Aeonian. That one was really good.
I really did like that album also. I would put
Yeah,
that up there as like maybe their top four albums for me.
yeah,
Now, this new
same
one I've been enjoying a lot,
here.
but I still don't know where I rank it yet. I've listened to it 3 times, and
Right.
it's taking, as I was explaining earlier, with Dimmu, sometimes it takes a little bit for me to really appreciate the finer points of the album. And I've recently, of my last listen, really started to pay closer attention to the piano going on with the music. Really liking that stuff. But one thing that I will say about this album is it doesn't seem to have very many really heavy moments, which I'm still, maybe I might pick something up on a fourth go around with the album, but um, there aren't very many super heavy songs, you know. Eonin had a couple of them that had some really killer breakdowns and stuff that I enjoyed a lot. Um, but this new album is not bad. I've been enjoying it, and I so far I can't really say too many bad things about it. Again, I want to listen to it a few more times to really see how I feel, where it ranks amongst their other albums. But for me, Eonin is one of their best albums, and I feel like Death Cult Armageddon is a legendary album of theirs as well. That's probably my favorite of theirs. Oh, that tour! It's called The Forces of the Northern Light in Oslo, Norway, with the
Yeah.
orchestrations. That's the one. They did a
Okay.
full set from their what is the name of that album? Abrahadabra, which
Yeah.
yeah, I saw Dimmu with Abrahadabra in Portland, Oregon, and they had did. I really wish that they didn't do it. I want to say Enslaved was supposed to be there that night, and they didn't show up for one reason or another. I don't know, but I was really looking forward to seeing both those bands in the same night. Um, Dimmu performed, but at the Roseland Theater, they decided to cut the crowd in half: minors on one side, adults on the other, and I don't understand why they did this. And I was also surprised that for some reason it was not a huge audience that night. It was not a seemingly it did not appear to be a sold out show for the Roseland Theater. Considering the fact that it was Demi Borgir, I was surprised that it was not a full crowd. So I
I
haven't
think
seen them since.
Abracadabra wasn't received well. That might have been why.
Yeah, it's not their best album in my opinion. It's I don't think it's a terrible album. I think it's a good album. There's a lot to like about it. Um, and I think I told you, Justin. I remember reading about how they used something along the lines of like 300 different instruments to make that album. So they
Wow.
really went all out. And I saw some behind the scenes making of the album, seeing the orchestrations being composed and stuff like that, which is really cool to watch. So I do think there's still a lot to like about that album, even though it was, in my opinion, a little too boring. It just there are some good songs on it, but just a little slow for my taste.
I think when we get done here, I'm gonna just put on a couple Demon Borgir albums and check them out a little more. I have a couple albums. I've just never really give them. I've never like spun the whole album from start to finish. Like I don't know. I guess I need to.
Death Cult Armageddon is definitely worth checking out for sure. And
They kind of get ripped on by black metal fans because they're considered to be more mainstream as far as black metal goes, and they don't really hide
Uh,
that. They really want to be successful and thrive and be known. So I think black metal elitists kind of shun that a little bit. But I've always been the type of guy who's like, I don't want to hide music I love. I know that
no.
elitists and gatekeepers like that kind of stuff. Like, we don't want our bands to get more popular. It's just for us. But I've always been like, no way, dude. This band, when you really love a band, it's really cool to see them climb the ladder of success and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it feels like you're a part of that story, because I've seen a lot of bands become untouchable, where I've seen them like up close and personal at shows and they're right there. And then a few years goes by and they're like at the Moda Center, and you're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, that they are huge now. I think it's a really cool experience to be a part of that story or that legacy. So I'm not a gatekeeper like that when it comes to bands. I'm not like elitist when it comes to things like that.
I feel the same way.
I have a pretty cool story about how I got into Dimmu Borgir.
Okay, let's hear it.
Uh,
So, so my dad used to work at Domino's, and he worked with this guy who is like really into heavy metal, and so he had lent a couple of CDs to my dad for me to check out, and those CDs were Death Cult Armageddon by Dimmu Borgir and Hate Crew Death Roll by Children of Bodom.
Mm.
And so when I first put on Death Cult Armageddon, I kind of just skipped to Progenies of the Great Apocalypse, and that was the first song I had ever heard by them.
Nice. Yeah, it's a
okay.
great song to
Wow,
start with.
this sounds like a movie soundtrack. This is fucking cool. Like, I felt like I was like in like a Tim Burton movie or something, like I was watching Sleepy Hollow or something. So
Dude, that song, I think it's called Lepers Among Us. They play it
yeah,
right after that song. There's this one
yeah,
cut where it's like, Satan is here. Satan was there, real to me, or something like that. Dude, I
yeah.
listened to that so many times in my room, and I just was like blasted, put the speakers on full. It was so ominous sounding and cool. It was just like, this is rad, man. I love that part. That song
Yeah.
was awesome. Um, I found out about Dimmu Borgir from friends of mine way back in 2004. We went to Ozfest '04, and Dimmu Borgir was on the main stage along with like Judas Priest and Black Sabbath and stuff like that, Slayer as well. And
No,
I saw them perform for Death Cult Armageddon. They were touring for that album, at least at Ozfest '04. And so it was at that show where I first saw them, really listened to their music, kind of getting into them. Like, I remember listening to a couple of their songs to learn about the band, and then I saw them perform. And then after that, I was like, dude, this band fucking rules. I got to buy more of their stuff. So it was off to the races after that. I was in love with them. So, yeah.
hell yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we definitely went down the list of things to check out, things that we're going to go see. We are on the agenda for Danny and I going to Ensign Ferrum September 26th at the Hawthorne. And we all three of us plan to go see Castle Rat and Unto Others October 6th at the Roseland Theater, and then, as I understand it, Necrogoblicon November 11th at the Crystal Ballroom. So that's
Sounds
3
good.
shows on the agenda. Mark your calendars. All right, guys. Well, with that said, I will bid you all adieu. And for now, just remember to like and subscribe and share with your friends. So with that said, bye, everyone. Catch you later.